Harbor Me by Jacqueline Woodson, Chapter 33. The following Friday, Holly sat next to me and nodded toward the recorder. My own hands were sweating as I pressed the button and looked up at the others. I was surprised at how nervous I was. No one had ever said, "Don't talk about your dad," but for some reason I had buried the story deep and now I was going to tell it to my friends. I kept saying that again and again in my head. "They're your friends, Haley. They're your friends." But just as I turned on the recorder, Esteban said, "I have another poem for my pappy." And Amari said, "Yes." Holly nodded at me. Esteban climbed down from the window seat and pulled the poem from his pocket. It was as wrinkled as his uniform. "I have to keep it on me," he said. "Crazy baby cousin always takes my things and messes with them. I put the other poems up on a shelf, but he can climb." Esteban smiled and shook his head. He looked tired but happy as he unfolded the poem, holding the page at its edges. His hands trembled as he read first the Spanish and then, more slowly and beautifully, the English. "And when darkness came and the night felt like it wanted to swallow me, the echo of 'Lights Out' was thrown back at the guards in so many beautiful languages that it sounded like the song the world has been trying to teach us since the beginning of time." He folded the poem carefully and put it back in his pocket. "It means that there are all these different kinds of people in detention with my pappy, and when the guards tell them that it's time for lights out, they all yell it back in their own language. So my pappy hears all the languages, and it's like they're singing him to sleep." Esteban touched his pocket with the poem in it. "That's all I have to say for now." He climbed back onto the window ledge and wrapped his arms around his legs, resting his head on his knees. After everyone told him how beautiful the poem was, I stood up. "I want to talk now," I said. "You guys have all told your stories about your families, and there's a story I haven't told you." I looked over at Holly, and she nodded again. "It's about my life. It's about my father." Esteban turned to me. "And my mother," I said, my voice cracking. "It's about what happened to me when I was little and when I first met Holly's mom, Kira."